Hello, my sweet friend. It's Christina, and welcome to a new episode of the Art Cake Coach podcast. Hello, my sweet friends. Welcome to the Art Cake Coach podcast. My name is Cristina Revalo. I'm a sugar paste modeling artist, a teacher, a coach for cake artists, Cake Friends Day creative community manager, award-winning cake decorator, and representative of international cake competitions. I'm so happy to have you here. If you are a cake artist, a cake enthusiast, or a baker who is seeking some help in anything related to your time management, social media management, setting your goals for yourself or your business, your mindset towards your business, or even a few hints of how to be part of the international cake community, cake collaboration, and cake competitions, you are in the right place. So, welcome to today's episode. Well, hello, my sweet friend. Welcome to another episode of the Art K Coach podcast. Christina here. I'm so glad and so happy to be here again another Tuesday morning here with you guys. Last week the episode was a little parenthesis on what I had planned for the month of August because, like I mentioned before, the month of August was all going to be about marketing. But I just came back from my holiday and I was so excited and so happy to have taken that short break that I decided to create that episode about the short break. And it's funny because I receive some feedback about that episode, like, yeah, of course we need that break. We need breaks. We do need it. And it's like people feel encouraged to talk about not being working. And on the social media, when I shared the episode, it was like, yeah, it's so good to have a break. Yeah, I need to. But sometimes I feel guilty about taking a break. But now I don't feel guilty anymore about taking a break because it's normal. Everybody should take a break. Everybody should recharge in order to come back, you know, fresh and new and with clear ideas in mind. It's invigorating. It really is, and it opens your mood, your mind, your mindset to start anew, to start fresh. And so, yeah, I recommend everybody to take a break now and then. And if you don't know how to take if you don't know how to, it's a bad thing to say. No, if you want ideas, that's a better way to put it. If you want ideas on how to take breaks even when you're working during the day, just listen to last week's episode when I talk about that. But today I'm going back on track. I'm going back to marketing because that was the idea of the month of August, to talk about marketing as cake artist. And I have been dividing in several topics. There's so much to talk about when you talk about marketing. It all comes to the same basic principles, but you can take a long time talking in each one of the points that is included in marketing and to market your products as cake artists, online or not. But there's a lot that we can discuss and talk about. But I don't want to make these episodes too long, especially in the month of August, because a lot of people are on vacation and a lot of people just want to relax. They don't want to be listening to me for an hour and a half talking about that. So I'm going to try to make it brief but rich in content. So this month we have already talked about marketing technique, about setting your online presence, and today I would love to talk to you about your personal brand, how to um, how to set yourself apart from the rest. All of us are unique. Another thousands and thousands of cake artists out there. Um, I mean, every time you open your Instagram, you see a new cake artist. You see somebody starting a business, somebody doing beautiful cakes, because there's so much information. And if you're a little bit creative and if you like baking and if you are in a kitchen, available to be in a kitchen and have the time to do it, I'm sure you're going to be a great cake artist and start a profitable business. But what happens is that I don't know if it happens to you, and I'm not going to say that it's bad because we all have to start somewhere, and we all start as copycats or copying other people's work or doing more of the same. But the feeling is that when you open your Instagram and you see all these cakes, there is a point that I'm just seeing the same cake all over again in different colors, or I'm just seeing the same technique all over again. And you crave for something new. And sometimes it's not just about having something new, but having a unique characteristic of that cake. Could be the same cake, but if there's something unique about either the work, the way the work is presented, or the way the artist put a little bit of themselves in that cake. I mean, just a little tiny shift, like little tiny shift, can make you stand out from the crowd. And that's what I want to uh, talk about with you today on this episode. So the episode's name is Personal Branding Strategies for Cake Artists. Now, before we start the episode, before we start on the juicy part, I want to share with you what really is branding. Because when we think about branding, we think about, oh, I have a logo. And I mentioned this before in the other episode about marketing techniques, but very broad. It's a logo and it's a color. Like in my case, it's purple. Everything that has to do with purple is me. I'm reading my notes, and to highlight the parts that I already read, they're highlighted in purple, of course. So, I mean, for me, it's purple. For other people's are colors or aesthetic, or the way they take the pictures of their cakes. But there is this thing that identify them. Now, why is important? Why is important to have that thing, that unique thing that says this is Christina, or this is this person, or this is this artist? It's because it's like your signature. It's like your fingerprint. There's no one like you. There could be thousands of cake artists, but there's not another cake artist like you. And that unique identity will help you not only to stand out, but also to attract the right audience for you, because you will be connected to the audience that resonate with you and with your work. So, what I want to do today is I want to share some practical tips and strategies to help you, as cake artists, develop a strong personality brand. I'm sorry, a strong personal, but also personality, because there's a lot of personality in a brand. So, a strong personal brand that aligns with your artistic style and business goals, because it's not only about how I feel and how I want to show myself, but how I want to present my business and how I want to be my business seen, and the goals that I want to achieve with my business. Why? Imagine this. You are a wedding cake artist, right? You're a cake decorator who wants to set a name for yourself in the wedding cake industry, which is not my forte. If you have listened to these episodes before, I'm not a wedding cake artist. No, I don't do wedding cakes. But if this is what you want to focus on, first, of course, you will have to speak a language in your brand that will resonate with your audience. And your audience are brides and grooms. And unless you have a very niche identity, like they say, I don't know, I think I mentioned this before, gothic wedding cakes, unless that, you want to speak a language that will adapt to weddings. So it has to be probably a very clean aesthetic, very light colors, a little bit of classical cakes, because that's what people look for, flowers. So you're not going to talk to them, or your brand is not going to identify as a brand that will do cupcakes for kids' birthday parties. It's different. So, depending on your business goal, if your business goal is to be a wedding cake artist and to have that as your niche and as your audience, the way you show yourself, the way you present your brand will resonate with that. Okay. So, today's all about this is about first identifying what is a personal brand as a cake artist, or a brand for your cake business. And second, some tips that could help you shift into the right direction, or do the adjustments that you need to do in order to make you stand out from the rest. And it's not only about having a unique logo, there's more involved into it. So stay with me, and we'll start this episode with defining What is a personal brand? So let's start by defining what is personal branding. Personal branding is the process of defining and promoting what you stand for as an individual, or in this case, as a cake artist. Let me explain this. If it means that I am defining, means that I am showing myself as I am. So first of all, it has to be authentic. It has to speak for you. I can say that if you show yourself as something that you're not, there's going to come a point that you're going to be uncomfortable doing it, and it's not going to come natural. So if you're going to show yourself as yourself, be yourself. Think of you as a brand. Are you a happy person? Are you a serious person? Are you I don't know, a smart person? I think we're all smart in every single different ways, right? So smart not is not the right thing to do. But what is the say? But what is the characteristic that defines you? Let's say you're a happy, bubbly person, and your brand stands as a very serious, dark colors brand. I mean, you could carry that on for a while, but there's gonna come a time that you're gonna just be tired of that, and you just want to have, rainbows and pink colors and sparkles and sprinkles everywhere, because that's you. So the first thing, if you're going to define a brand or a personal brand, define it as you will define yourself. What is the first thing that comes into your mind when you think this is me? Okay. Again, me, purple, love purple, so I'm not gonna get tired of purple. It's been me for a long time. It's not new. So I adapt part of me into my brand. What do you stand for as an individual? Are you an individual that likes to, I don't know, be just, be fair, and I don't know, please everyone? Are you a person that likes controversy? I mean, what do you stand for as an individual, and how could you reflect that into your brand as a cake artist? I can give you many examples. I can give you examples, not just me, examples of people who they don't mind controversy, and they use the controversy into their brand, and they stand out. They really stand out from the crowd. Or people that are very they're teachers by nature. They share as a natural characteristic of themselves, and you can see that in their brand because it's part of who they are. Your personal brand, at the end of the day, is the culmination of the experiences you've had, the skills you possess, and the values that differentiate you from others. And when I say value, I'm not saying, I stand up from this cause. No, the values is what makes you you as a person. I value, for example, for me, I value transparency. I value honesty. I value equality. So all of that is represented in my brands. In my groups, everybody's welcome, regardless of their level of expertise. My narrative as a cake artist is welcoming, is open, is friendly, because that's what I am. Those are my values. So that's how I present myself. Whatever you do, if you do it from first understanding who you are as a person, and I know it can sound like, what, Christina, you're not telling us that we need to do, I don't know, a self discovery, self help workshop to know who we are and then do create a brand. No, that's not what I'm saying. But you know who you are. You know what you love. You know what makes you comfortable. If you are by nature a person who likes rock and gothic and dark and black, you're going to be so comfortable in doing that into your brand that it's just going to be you. And if you're faking it, people is going to see it. People is going to say, this person is not really what is showing, and you're going to grow tired of it. So you being you is the only thing that is going to make you stand up from the crowd. Nothing else. And I know it sounds like I've heard this before. Everybody says the same thing, but it's absolutely true. I'm going to give you another example, very personal example. Now there is ChatGPT, AI. And I have to be honest, I don't know what you think about AI. I have mixed feelings about it, but I am quite intrigued about it, and I want to learn more about it, and I want to learn how to use it. So I decided to create a few ads for my groups using AI, just to see how it works, to of course help me with time, because it does help with time. And the ads were, you know, perfect. They were everything that I asked the ChatGPT to do for me. ChatGPT did it. It organized it the way it was supposed to sound on social media. The language was there, the message for the niche, for the target audience, for the purpose that I want. Everything was there, but it wasn't me. And I used it for a couple of weeks while I was on vacation. I used it in the groups, and guess what? It had a conversion in likes, it had a conversion in views, but it didn't have a conversion in comments. I'm being honest, this is what happened, because it wasn't me. When I talk in the groups with my people, I talk from like I was talking to a friend. I talk like I was talking to myself. Like I would like somebody to talk to me. And that was missing. That little tone was missing. When I went back and I did all my posts by myself and I wrote them from me, from my heart, from what I wanted to say, the comments start pouring in again. So that's the absolute proof that when you do something from your own voice, it actually gets to people. I think it's some sort of magic, because when I talked, even here in the podcast, when I talk in the microphone and I'm talking from the heart, I'm like, I'm here, I'm right now, I'm talking. It's like I can see you all standing in front of me, just having a coffee and conversation. And I know that message is, I can feel it in my heart that message is getting to you right now. And you tell me if this is wrong. Send me a message if I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. So when you do talk from yourself, from your own heart, from your own personality, what happens? It makes you differentiate yourself from the rest, establish credibility, because people know this is you. And guess what? You're going to build a loyal customer based on form created by the people who said, this is a real person. This is Christina. This is the person that I need, because she's talking to me. That is the wonder of a personal brand that speaks directly from you. Think about artists that you admire. Let's say I can talk about my idol, which is Karen Portaleo. I love her work. I mean, you can see her work anywhere and you know it's her. But herself as a person, I had the chance to very briefly meet her on Cake International last year. And, you know, I was like, girl, fan, like, you know, I'm meeting Portaleo. And I talked to her. I don't even remember what I said. I just started talking and talking and talking. And she took the time to stand there and just listen to me. She probably heard it was like, what is she talking about? I'm just tired. I don't want, but she took the time. She stand there. She took the picture with me, and that's what I see in her work. I see something familiar. I see something alive. When you see at her sculptures, it's like it's a thing. It's a person. It's a being in there, made by the hands of this wonderful artist. And she's that as a person, and many others that we admire. So many people that we admire, and when we see them in person, I mean, there's the other side of the coin, of course. But when we see them in person, it's like, yeah, this is what I admire in this person. Of course, there's other people who you're like, okay, this doesn't have anything to do with the artist. Sometimes you have to separate the artist from the art, but that's for another episode. That's not for today. But when we see cake artists that we admire and we can identify the work, what is the common thing, the common thread that we see in this brand and this person and their work? Let's go and find out why. Because they follow something that is called the 5 C's of personal branding. Even if they don't do it consciously, I didn't do it consciously, but when I learned about this and when I looked back, I was like, yeah, I do this. It's true. Maybe 4 out of 5, but mainly I do follow these principles, which are clarity. You are clear in your message, cohesive. It's a narrative that you keep. It's the same narrative. Why? Because you're talking from you, from your heart. So it's cohesive in everything that you say. You're consistent. Bingo. Yes, be consistent. I cannot emphasize enough. It's the only way things are going to work is by being consistent. People who know me know that in my groups and in my social media, every single Tuesday there's going to be an episode. Every single Monday there's going to be a challenge. Every Wednesday is Social Media Wednesday. Every Friday is Business Friday. You know that I'm there for you when I promise. So I'm consistent. The content is relevant. I always share content that I think it's important for my audience. Community. In community is not just have a big following. It's having the conversation with that following. Keep the conversation going. Engage with them. Be there for them. Be there for your community. Be active in your community. And clarity. I already mentioned clarity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I repeated clarity. Sorry. So the 5 C's are clarity, cohesive, consistent, content, and community. And we can see in the brands that we value, we can see all of that. So think about that when you're going to start building your own brand. I am absolutely thrilled to announce a new sponsor of the RK Coach podcast. We are now working together with Cake the Great magazine. Cake the Great magazine is a quarterly international magazine, and it's an open platform for all levels of sugar artists around the world. We will showcase your talent, skills, update sugar, world news, and more. You can have the next issue, and you can already have the March issue of 2023 in the links that I will be leaving here in this episode, and stay tuned for the next issue to come. Thank you so much to my sweet dear friend Tasnuta Allen, award-winning cake decorator and editor of this magazine. And thank you to Cake the Great magazine for being one of the sponsors, and welcome to the family of the RK Coach podcast. Okay, now let's start thinking how we define and build a personal brand. First, to define a personal brand, you need to think about your unique value proposition. What is that unique selling point? What trait makes you you? As a cake artist, this is usually related to the creative part, of course. When we see a piece from a specific cake artist that have come to the point that this person has built their own identity as an artist, you see it, right? Like I mentioned before, Karen Portoleo, or if you see, flowers from a specific artist, or if you see a cake by, Enrique Rojas, who was here, Warfare Paper by Ana Stashkina, who was here. I mean, you see, this is this person. I can identify this person, right? However, you can add unique selling points that define you as a business, not just as an artist and as a brand. For example, you do special deliveries, or you deliver across the country, or you are a niche-based business. Like I mentioned, the Gothic wedding cake artist. You have a unique style, like the artist that I mentioned. So the unique selling point or the unique value proposition is not only how you create your art, that of course is unique. We can all do the same piece, and we're all going to do it differently because it's our hands, it's our mind, it's our creativity. Each one of us is going to add their own part into the piece. Even if it's like a manual and you can do it the same, it's never going to be the same. But you can also add to your brand as a business, or not to your brand, to your business, that unique selling point that makes you stand out from the rest, right? Think about unique skills, artistic styles, and the qualities that sets you apart from others. But also think, what can you add to this formula as a business to make it unique? This narrative should be your business card. what happened is, when you present yourself, when you talk to your customers, when you communicate to prospective customers, when you show yourself in events or in collaborations, the way you show yourself is your narrative. The way you talk, the way you present yourself should include all of this. Not only your uniqueness as a creative being, but also your brand uniqueness. Why is it important? Because as clear as you are on this point, that's how you attract the right customers. We're going to have an episode next week about attracting customers, and we're going to mention this a little bit more in depth of how you want to attract the right customers. You don't want to attract customers that won't pay. You don't want to attract customers that are going to keep asking you for discounts, unless that's what your brand stands for. If you're a brand that's always making promotions and it's always giving discounts and it's always going to the cheaper side, that's what you're going to get. That's the kind of customers they're going to look for you. But knowing my community and knowing my cake artists, I don't think that's what we all want. But you never know. It could be a unique selling point. Now, also to define a brand, we need to think about the visual. And that's where people think a brand is. That's what people think is a brand. People is like, okay, I'm going to create my brand. So it's going to be a logo with flowers and it's going to be pink, and that's my brand. And I'm going to use this kind of letters. No, brand, it's more than that. The logo comes, or the visual part comes after you define that brand. Many years ago, when graphic designs, I don't know, 20 years ago, people talk about graphic design, but didn't talk about branding a lot. And branding was starting. I had a friend who was major in branding, and it was kind of new here. And she had a hard time trying to convince people that how much branding was important. 20 years later, there it is. Everybody talks about branding, and branding is not just, I want a purple logo because I love purple. No, it's your logo is the identity, is the fingerprint of everything that we talked before, everything that you stand for, everything that you are, everything, your values, what defines you, everything else. Now, if you want a visual brand that stands out, I'm going to give you a few tips. It should be cohesive, and visual brands identify you as a cake artist. So it should be cohesive. It should be I can see it. When I see the logo, it's like, oh, this person. Or when I see this color, oh, this person. You should take in consideration elements such as, of course, the logo design, the color palette. Color palette can tell you about your mood, even your values, the way you speak. Everything is connected to a vibration, and vibrations are colors. So you can show it through colors. How do you feel, and what do you stand for? The typography that you use. Typography is the kinds of letters that you're going to use. When you choose between Arial or Calibri on on Canva or on whatever you're doing your logo, that is the typography and the visual aesthetic that you want. If you want a more busy logo, if you want a more clean line logo, what is it that you want? That will reflect the artist's style and appeal to the target audience. If I have a logo that is full of vibrant, chunky colors with, let's say, graffiti style, neon, I'm going to look for that if I am a person who likes that, who identifies with that. And maybe I'm looking for whimsical cakes that you can hang from the ceiling or something like that. That's a logo that will tell me a characteristic about that. But if I'm looking for a classical wedding cake, probably I'm going to look for an aesthetic that is more clean and simple, light colors. If it's elegant, I also have a friend who is a wedding planner. I don't think she's listened to this episode, but if she's listening, I admire her work a lot. She's been doing a great job in the States, and her logo, she's very elegant in everything that she does. It could be a kid's birthday party or wedding, but everything is elegant and crisp, and so her logo is very elegant. It has gold in it. So all of those visuals will give you an idea who you are as a brand, or what I'm going to expect as a client from that brand. It's important to be consistent, like I mentioned before, because you're going to use that in everywhere. I mean, consistent visual brand identity across various touch points. And what I mean touch points are points where your clients are going to meet you. That could be your website, your social media, the packaging of your product, business cards, cake fairs and events. Everywhere you are, that is going to be your identity, right? So think very carefully when choosing a visual brand. And of course, this is one of the most important, and I've been talking about this before, is be you. Being authentical, being yourself, it's what's going to give voice and personality to your brand. And that brand voice and personality is going to show through maybe social media captions, blog posts, interactions with your audience. The important thing is that people feel that they are having a genuine connection with you. It's not a fake one. It's like this, because that builds trust. And when people trust who you are, they will follow you, and they will become not only clients, they will become fans, and they will, show your work to other people and tell other people about your work and recommend your product. That is what's going to happen. And when I talk about, for example, social media captions and the interactions, there's always a narrative. The power of the narrative and the storytelling in a personal brand is key. How you show yourself, the way you talk to audience, the way you talk to your followers, the way you talk to your clients, it's going to make them feel familiar or unfamiliar depending on how you present yourself. So I'm going to encourage you to share you. Share your creative journey. What made you, I'm sure you have seen posts on social media that talk about the artist, talk about like, here I am, I have new followers, I'm going to present myself, this is me, this is what happened, I started here, I started there, this is my life, this has been my trajectory, all of that. Why is that? Why do people keep doing that? Because that's a way to relate to the human part of the brand. Behind the brand, there's a person. So who is that person? What made you be the cake artist that you are today? What made you you? You will think it's it could be boring, or it could be, too much. I was like, there comes this person again with all of their stories about what they did, what they didn't do. But it's actually a marketing technique, because it makes people relate to you. I have to be honest, I do get tired of people who repeat that too much, and that their brand is no longer their brand, but it's a narrative of themselves. I do get tired. I think there has to be a medium ground in that part. But telling about your personal journey, your inspirations, as simple as showing a behind the scenes or something that made your audience see, oh, this person, it's a person. It's a person like me that's doing this work and that has this ability, this creativity to do this. But people can relate. A lot of people like to relate through pain points and troubles and issues, and it's not my thing. But again, this is not me, so it's not my brand. That's not what I do. But for some people who are like that is part of their brand. For me, I want to be as polite as possible right now, but I enjoy more positive stories about overcoming things and about showing your journey as a positive path that led you somewhere than focusing on the trouble that made you who you are now. But that's me. Because trouble is part of life as well. But we're getting off topic right now. So make your audience know who you are. Not just the brand, but the person behind the brand. There are many ways to show your story, or to share that storytelling. You can have blog posts, social media captions, videos. You can use, nowadays we have TikToks, we have Reels, we have posts, we have so many things. The important thing is to make it useful and effective for the purpose that you want to share it, okay? Not just for the sake of sharing it. I'm sure you know, and you'll have social media, the difference when we make a post on a trouble or a problem that we have. Oh, we have so many comments, so many feedbacks. Everybody wants to give your opinion. Than when we share, for example, something like a win or an achievement. Probably the true followers and friends are going to congratulate you, but there's going to be a lot of quiet. It's normal, it's human, that's what happens. But don't overuse this narrative and storytelling unless that's how you want to present your brand. That's my advice for you. But of course, my advice is coming from my point of view that I don't like to use it. So that's it. But I'm just sharing with you what I believe. But you're free to do. It's your brand. So just be you. Be you. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say. But not. And the last part of creating a brand that speaks for you is make a name for yourself by sharing. There's benefit in sharing. There's a lot of controversy on that too. People think that people is oversharing online for free and this shouldn't be it. You can tailor what you share. You can tailor how much you share. I have a very good friend also who has run her own business, and she mentioned to me one day, you share the what, but you charge for the how. So imagine you can share the what, the cake, behind the scenes. This is how I build my cakes. That will be a how, but you do it very quickly, so people will eventually have to ask you how you do it. Why you need the cake, what can I do, what is my superpower as a cake artist. But if you want to know how to do it, you will have to pay for that. So you can tailor how much you share. But the benefit of sharing is that you position yourself as a leader, an expert in your niche. People won't know who you are. People won't follow you unless you show them who you are. I know there are mixed feelings. I saw a documentary actually about this, about talking about you or praising yourself or talking about your achievements or talking about what you do. People feel that they shouldn't, that is rude, it's not polite, that you shouldn't brag about yourself. It's not bragging. It's like you did it, you achieve it, you work hard to get there, so why not talking about it? But sometimes people don't feel like it or feel that they're overpraising themselves and they feel out of place with that. But if you don't talk about who you are, what you do, and how you do it, tell the truth. You don't have to embellish anything. Just if you don't talk about who you are, if you don't embrace all your achievements and everything that you do, how people is going to find you? This romantic idea that, like I call it the model, and I'm going to explain why. The model that, this beautiful young lady, tall and flawless, was walking down the street, and this model agent comes and says, I'm going to make you the next supermodel. And then she goes and be the next supermodel, or the Hollywood effect of you're just sitting in a corner with your guitar playing music, and then somebody sees you and says you're going to be the next superstar, and then you're the next superstar. That happens, but that happens like, I don't know, 1 in a million. I don't know the statistics, but it's not everyone. It doesn't happen to everyone. Most of the people that succeed and have success nowadays is because they show the world who they were, not because somebody says, oh, I'm going to find you, you're going to be famous now. So if you have this idea that just by posting your cakes on social media, you're going to go viral, and people's going to say, oh, this is the best cake I've ever seen. Now, there are thousands of cakes. I'm sorry, I'm being brutally honest right now. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of cakes online. Try it. Look for it. Instagram, whatever, social media, Google it. Thousands of people who are doing cakes, and great cakes, beautiful cakes. But what's happened to the most of those people is that they're not talking about their work. They're not showing themselves as the unique artists they are, or the unique bakers or cake artists or cake decorators they are. They're just putting it out there, waiting for somebody to say, oh, this is the best cake I've seen, so I'm gonna go and share it everywhere and it's gonna go viral. Nope, that's not how it works. You have to talk, you have to share your knowledge, you have to position yourself out there by sharing what you do and talking about your brand. If you have kids, I have kids, we all brag about our kids. We think they're the most beautiful creatures when they're babies. We think they're the most beautiful babies in the world, and probably we're not, but we think so as parents. So this business, this cake business, is your baby. It's your kid. Or if you have dogs, we love our dogs. For me, my dog is the most beautiful, cutest creature in the world, and it's probably not, but for me it is. And I talk about my dog every day, like, oh, she's so cute, she did this today. That's how you should feel about your business and about what you do and about you as a cake artist. So show your knowledge, show your what, ask money for your how, show techniques, tips. You can write a blog post, you can share a tutorial, you can do small workshops, collaborations with industry peers. All of that will position yourself in the place that you want to be seen, to be known, and to be recognized as a cake artist. As your cake coach, I am here to help you. If you want to go a little bit further in your journey, to organize your time, set clear goals, maybe teach, work on your mindset, or set a roadmap for results, especially for results and success, I am here for you. Why don't you book a free discovery call with me? I will be leaving the links here in this episode so we can chat, we can talk about what you really need, and we can see if we're a good fit for each other. Remember, I have just one mission in this cake world. First is to unite the cake community as one, and to make you, my cake artist, my sweet friend, understand the importance of investing in you. Like I said, I will be leaving the links here in the description of this episode so you can book a 30 minutes free discovery call with me. And just remember, in case nobody said this to you today, I do appreciate you and I want you to stay safe and stay creative. So before we get into the conclusion of this episode, I just want to address something here. If you're a new cake artist, if you're just starting out, or if you have been in the business for just a little bit and you feel like this is first a lot because you haven't identified your brand yet, because you don't know who you are as a cake artist yet, you can follow certain tips here, but it can be overwhelming, especially because when we start, we want to do everything and we accept any kind of work and we want to please everyone. So it's very common that we start as cake artists or as cake decorators, copying other people's work. And I used to feel bad about that. I used to feel like, a copycat, a little bit of a phony, like I'm not really an artist myself. It took me a while. I've been in this business for 15 years. But if you haven't listened to the episode with Enrique Rojas, he mentioned in his episode, in his conversation with me, that there is artistry in the art of copying somebody else's work. The amount of artistry that you have to copy somebody else's work is tremendous, and it's true. And to copy it well, because you can make a bad copy or a good copy, but to copy it well, it requires artistry. So be proud of that. Be proud if you're starting. Be proud if you haven't found your voice yet. You will. Believe me, you will. You have to put the work. You have to have creative time for yourself that is not for a client or to sell a cake. It's just your creative time until you find that voice, and then you start promoting that voice, that art that's coming out of you and of somebody else's work, and then somebody's going to see it and somebody's going to resonate with it. It's a long road, but you eventually get there. You will eventually get there, unless, because there's the other side, and I always said it's easier to show an artist how to work with cakes than a baker to show them how to be an artist. So if you're already an artist and you're just using edible medium to express your art, you probably know your voice by now. But what I want to say with all of this is don't be stressed about creating your own voice and finding your own narrative and, creating your brand. Just be you, and eventually that will come out. But be proud if you're just starting and if you're just trying to find yourself in this world of thousands of cake artists. Take it easy, take your time, enjoy the ride, and really enjoy it, because when you get to the other side, when you get to the end, to the finish line, either because you have your own voice now and you have a very specific kind of art, I feel sometimes that you get stuck in a box, because that's the art of this person, so that's it. And when you try to get out of that box again, it's hard. People will feel disappointed, some people will. So enjoy the ride while you haven't gotten there yet. Enjoy finding your voice, because it's a time that you're eventually going to miss. Now I look back and I kind of miss that sometimes. And now I'm not even baking for clients anymore. I bake for friends and family. That's it. And I am dedicated to do this for you, for my community. And I kind of miss that part. So enjoy it. Enjoy that part. And if you want help, just listen to what we talk about in today's episode. And that's what I'm going to do now. It's recap the key points of today. So first of all, identify what is personal branding. Remember, there are 5 C's of personal branding: clarity, cohesive, consistent, content, community. Then make sure you have a unique value or a unique selling point, not only for your cakes but for your business. It sets you apart from the rest. Think about your visual brand. It should be cohesive. Think about the logo design, the color palette, typography, and the visual aesthetic that you want to present, taking in consideration your values, your goals, and your own narrative, but always be you. That's number 4. Narrative and storytelling, how you talk to your clients and how your brand talks to your customers and future customers. And make a name for yourself by sharing. Talk about you, who you are. Show the people who you are. People is not going to find you unless you talk about it. And that's what I got for you today as tips for building your personal brand as a cake artist. Reflect on your unique qualities, your values, your artistic style, and your own personality. That's what will make you you, and that's it. If you want to get to know a little bit more about this, if you want to talk to me about any doubts that you will have as creating your own brand or talking about your own work, because I know there is a lot of imposter syndrome there, that people won't want to talk about their own work because they feel like they don't belong. If you want any help on this, remember you can always book a free discovery call with me as your coach for cake artists. With this, my beautiful, beautiful, lovely, sweet friends, I will leave you today as I always leave you. Stay safe and stay creative. See you next time. My sweet, sweet friend, if you like this episode, if you love this podcast, I will kindly ask you to leave me a started review, whatever you're listening to this episode, that is available on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and I think a couple of other ones. But in any of those, just leave me a review. Leave me a couple of stars or 5 stars if you like it. So people will find this episode, the algorithm would put it out there, and more of our K community will benefit from it. Share it with your friends. Download the episode and share them. Share them on your social media and tag me, because I will answer you back. Of course I will. and send me comments, send me your review, send me your feedback. Even if you don't agree with anything that I say, I would love to hear your opinion. You can find me in any of my social media accounts. I will be leaving the links here on this episode description. I'm on Facebook as The Art Cake Experience. I am on Instagram at Christina_The Art Cake Experience, or you can even find me on YouTube, my YouTube channel, The Art Cake Experience channel. So thank you so much for listening, and please leave me your review and leave me your comments and your feedback. I would love to hear what you have to say about any of these episodes.